Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video kind of talking about does having a disability make dating or relationships or even friendships more difficult? Because I've had people kind of ask me about how I deal with that. So I definitely think that it takes a lot longer to find somebody who is willing to kind of deal with, that sounds really bad, but kind of is able to handle, does that sound better? Your disability, or in my case, my multiple disabilities, especially having seizures and having MS, um, and having POTS, depression, anxiety, PTSD. I have a lot of stuff going on. And as far as my seizures, I feel like it takes a special person to be able to be with someone who has seizures because it's not easy to watch somebody that you care about go through something like that. I mean, seizures can be pretty scary. They can kill you, and it's just kind of hard to see somebody having a seizure. Um, Obviously, I work in the medical field, so I have been around people who are actively seizing, and it's definitely not pretty, and it's just really difficult. I mean, you can urinate on yourself, you can have a bowel movement on yourself. It's just not pretty whatsoever. And so, like I said, I feel like it takes a lot for someone to be willing to deal with that on an everyday basis. Um, that really sounds bad, but it's true. There's a lot of people who I feel like think that they can handle it, but then when they're actually going through it, they feel differently because now they see, oh my gosh, this is not playing. This is actually real. It's actually happening. And this person could be dying right in front of me. Um, People want somebody who's healthy, who can do normal everyday things that people do in relationships, go to the movies, go for walks, stuff like that. And with my MS and POTS, some of those things are difficult. With POTS, some days, like today, it's hard for me to even be sitting up straight. After I took that walk around the neighborhood, I didn't even walk that far, honestly. There's like, the neighborhood I was walking in is like a 3 block neighborhood, and I went kind of this way through the middle block, then I went through the last block, back through the middle block, and back up this way again, and I was done. I couldn't do anymore. And I used to be able to walk like forever. When I lived in Chicago, I walked everywhere, and it didn't bother me. So, just seeing how your life can change in an instant, um, you know, having difficulties with mobility after having multiple strokes and, just a lot of stuff going on, I can definitely understand why somebody wouldn't want to be with me. Because it's difficult. It's difficult to see somebody that you care about having a hard time medically. And, I've always been a person who is very open, and I don't discriminate against people. I don't care if you have a disability, if, you're overweight. I really don't care. I have no setbacks as far as that goes to having a relationship with somebody. Um, if you have a medical condition, that's fine with me because I have one too. That's how I view things. And I just love the person for who they are, and I don't judge someone based on whether they have a disability or not. To me, that doesn't really change the person. They're still the same person. They just have to deal with a specific disability. It doesn't make me look at them any differently, but there are definitely people who are not willing to deal with someone who has a disability whatsoever. I've had people who have told me, that we could have sex, but we couldn't have like a meaningful relationship because I have a disability and they don't want to deal with that. I've had people who tell me, like they have some disability fetish or something, and they want pictures of me in my wheelchair because I guess that turns them on. I don't know. I find that really weird myself, but I've actually had people ask me for pictures of me in my wheelchair because they say, oh, that's really cool that you're in a wheelchair or that you need a wheelchair sometimes. And it's just really, it really just boggles my mind, because what is so sexy about a wheelchair? Um, you know, I have been starting to accept myself more since dealing with my MS, because I feel like if this is something I'm going to be dealing with for the rest of my life, then I need to learn how to accept it and need to learn how to overcome the obstacles that come with it. But it's just been really difficult to kind of get other people who know the old me, to kind of accept the new version of me and how I am now and how things could be in the future. You know, I could be relying on my wheelchair 24/7 in the future because of my MS. You know, I mean, I was just in the hospital not able to move the entire right side of my body. So, you know, things like that happen with MS, and it's scary, but it's something that, you know, I feel like takes a special person to deal with. Um, but yeah, I hope that answers your question. I feel like that's all I really have to say about it. I don't necessarily have a lot to say on the topic, just I feel like it is more difficult because you have to find the person who is willing to love you even though you're disabled, and accept your medical conditions and your disabilities, and accept you and love you for who you are, and not turn you into a fetish, because that's just weird. Um, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have a chronic illness or a disability, whatever it may be, let me know if you have found it difficult to have like a relationship, or if you have found it difficult to form lasting friendships, whatever. And I'm just kind of curious to see if anybody else has had some of the same experiences, you know, as far as disability being fetishized and things like that. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys again soon.